Well, the January monitoring round has also allowed the Health Minister, Robin Swan, to announce payments for people who contracted hepatitis C or HIV after receiving NHS-supplied infected blood. The interim payments for Northern Ireland beneficiaries of the infected blood payment scheme will range between £4,000 and £8,000 per person, depending on individual circumstances. Earlier, I asked Paul Kirkpatrick from Londonderry, who contracted hepatitis B and C following blood transfusions because of his haemophilia, if the £1 million extra was enough.
It's a lot less than initially expected. It doesn't make parity with the UK. Early indications, there's a difference between what the Department of Finance indicated to us yesterday and what the Department of Health issued late last night, which means the disparity with England is still quite significant. There is further talks and efforts going on today in London to get parity across the whole of the UK. And again, Northern Ireland is substantially lagging there. England, Wales and Northern Ireland have nothing for widows or those bereaved, where Scotland have a fair system in place. So until those things are in place, there will be no parity.
Can you give us a real-life example of kind of the difference perhaps someone who has contracted this blood infection in Northern Ireland might have compared to someone in Scotland, for example?
Okay, so someone in Scotland would typically receive a £50,000 lump sum plus maybe an annual payment of in around £18,000, while those in Northern Ireland currently receive about £3,500. So that's the current difference. Yesterday's announcement indicated that we would go parity with England and they would receive about £18,000. But a statement from the Department of Health last night didn't indicate that they were going that far.
A huge difference, clearly. Is there anything that might suggest this is a monitoring round and more money will come in the next budgetary allocation?
We believe so, but there's been a lot of empty promises before. Theresa May, when she was in power, and subsequently Boris Johnson, have called for the four devolved nations to ensure there's parity, and that hasn't happened. So there's quite a big disconnect between those at the top and those at local government to try to enable what should be the fair and right thing.
At the end of the day, you're £1 million more this morning than you were yesterday. Do you at least accept that this is a step in the right direction?
Absolutely, it's a step in the right direction. We've been working with the Department of Finance and Sue Gray in particular, and since Conor Murphy came in, he's been very communicative with ourselves. He's been very proactive and provided good leadership to enable it to happen. So we've been told this money is ring-fenced and has to be spent on the affected and infected people in Northern Ireland. So it should translate to the people, but as I said, the statement last night was quite confusing from the Department of Health, and all their sums don't add up. So today, we're trying to get in contact with the Department of Health to get more detail on how that £1 million is going to be spent.
Paul Kirkpatrick speaking to me just before we came on air.